Metlink. Wait, don't go! Fair warning, this video is going to be a little bit region specific. If you're not from Wellington, still stick around, because I'm going to be talking about, I'm going to try and be making this more general. But if you are from Wellington, you're going to understand a little bit more of, the geographical side of things. With that out of the way, I want to talk about something that has annoyed me for a very long time, which is the Metlink transport system map. Okay, so just to provide a little bit of context, so Metlink is the public transport operator for the Wellington region. So this is their website, but I'm not here to talk about that. This is the regional network map for the entire Wellington region. It is pretty bad. Now, the 2026 map had a lot of issues. It seems like it was so bad that they have now removed it from public view. I have a couple screenshots of the mistakes that they made, but so this is the 2024 map, which still has more than enough problems that we can cover, because it's poor. It's very poor. You can see already these angles are funky. And so I'm gonna just start at the top and bottom. So how this started was I was waiting and I was looking at, they have this map printed on a giant placard. I was looking at the map and I noticed that up here they have misaligned the track. So they just had moved the layer. It was completely gone and it was completely moved. And I was like, how have they done that? And so I went and I downloaded this version of the map because the 2026 version hadn't come out yet. I started looking and oh my god, there are some... Let's look at a couple of things. So, I mean, what is even happening here? The dotted grey lines are the peak hour buses. So they only run at peak hours. And they are so clearly an afterthought on this map. They are just slapped over top. And in the 2026 map, I've attached screenshots playing over top. They're the icons just change. There's icons that are missing. This one's my favorite because they've somehow moved this all the way north and they've put it bonus points covering the stop name. It's hilarious. And this is their most recent version of the map that they've now taken out of service because they must have seen these issues. You can see down here, all of these little stop icons are on different layers. This is misaligned. The 14 bus, there's just a gap in the things. You can see here on this corner, there's just so many tiny little... It's just not as polished as it could be. There's just so many tiny little layering things. Look at this. All of this, it's just not polished. On top of that, there's also just general design things in that there's so much going on. It is not optimized for readability at all. There's text covering all sorts of things. Everything's diagonal. I really don't like it when maps have diagonal text because it just makes it that little bit harder to read. All of this text is diagonal. That's just how they've decided to fit it in. It's inconsistent in, these lines have padding, which is obviously something they've done for readability. But, literally right down here, this doesn't have padding. And none of this has padding anywhere here. There's no pad, it's only done for the Porirua area, and I think Kapiti Coast too? No? Oh god. Intentional design-wise, all of these thin blue lines, they are limited frequency buses. I don't know, they just weren't special enough to get their own color, I suppose. Okay, let's follow the 24 down because I know where the 24 goes. So 24 it follows this blue line down from Johnsonville. It comes around, goes up to Kandala, and then it goes down the Hutt Road, and it hits here in Wellington Station. And it looks like it ends, right? The line stops. It actually doesn't. What it does is it jumps over to this line, which already has something coming. This line isn't even straight. You can see when I scroll up and down, this line isn't even straight. It jumps over to this line, and it continues on down to Courtney Place. It then jumps again to this line, and goes up and around, and that's the first time. So, there's this whole gap between where it's indicated and if you didn't know, you'd never know that it continued going down. The same happens with the 52 and the 83. I genuinely thought they ended at Wellington Station. They don't. They go down to Courtney Place. Side note, I kind of get it, but Willis Street, Manners Street, but then these ones are some of them are abbreviated, but not all of them are. The design standard for transport maps is that you work in a consistent angle set. So you're either doing horizontal, vertical, and 45-degree angles, or you're doing horizontal, vertical, 60-degree angles. This is not consistent with anything else. I mean, first of all, none of the angles are consistent. I don't even know what's happening here. There's another corner, there's another weird cornering there. One of my worst gripes with this map, and they've done this on every single map, like historically back before they even did this. The whited upper line, this yellow one, it looks like it goes from Masterton to Upper Heart, and that's where it stops, right? You can see on this map, and I like how they've done this. This is generally what you do for map if you have like a local line and then an express line, is you run them parallel side by side, so that you can see which stops it stops at, which stops it doesn't, etc. On this map, it just comes down and then it stops. You would never know apart from this, ironically misaligned little line badge, and I don't like that. The whole thing just doesn't work for the purpose that it's trying to serve. It's not readable. It makes it really difficult to work out where you need to go, because you can't see where any of the lines go. The whole point of a map is you find your start, you find your end, and then you follow the lines to connect the start to the end. You physically can't do that when things like the line jumping, for example, happens. It's very frustrating, and I don't like this map at all. There's a guide here down the bottom that I'm still not sure what its purpose is. I've talked to some other people about this, and they think it's like which bus routes stop at which stations, which, okay, but like why is the 18 and 19 on here? They don't stop at any. And why is this, how, it's kind of difficult to read, in my opinion. There's no title. It doesn't tell you that that's what it does. Another thing. So this is a dotted blue line, which, like, I suppose you'd naturally assume that this is just a peak hour extension of a non... So, like, the 236 runs all the time. On peak hours, it runs this little extension bit. But then, if you come just across the hills to the Hutt Valley, the 154 has its own peak hour extension, and that's not done in dotted blue. That's just done in the usual peak-only grey. And so the inconsistency between these makes it hard to work out, okay, well then what does dotted blue mean? Because it can't mean peak-only, because I thought this meant peak-only. So what does dotted blue mean? And it's not included on their key at all. So the inconsistencies make it even harder to read. Stop icons without text. I think that text is supposed to go there. You've got, stop icons without text without stop icons. So what did I do? I made my own. This is my take, and just briefly, I've given up on this project, and the reason why is because they made it too hard. They made it too hard to work out where all of the bus routes go. There is some information that's incorrect here. I think the only thing is the 83 doesn't go to Wellington Station. It ends at Courtney Place. But apart from that, I think I've got everything right. Initially, when I started this, I was working off of the Metlink system map. That got tiresome quickly because, as I've spent this whole video talking about, it's terrible. So you can see immediately I've omitted all of the peak hour buses because they annoy me, and I don't think it's necessary information. Some of the key changes I've made is, so I've put stop icons at the start and the end of the route, and I don't think there needs to be stop icons anywhere else. For the coloured routes, you can just follow the colours. And for these little blue ones, wherever possible, I've tried to merge them into one route, so you don't get that issue of like line jumping that I was talking about earlier. In some cases, like here, I've had to have them overlap. You'll also see I've put universal padding on everything for extra readability, because that's good. I think that the padding was good. I think that they should have done it everywhere. I put line indicators at the start and end stops of any route, and then for these blue ones, I've added these little text indicators to show which line follows which route. This is by no means a good map, because I'm not a map designer most of the time. So I don't know if this is a better map, so I'm going to let you decide that. So I'm going to attach this at the bottom, and then you can see I think this is one of the few things where if you're from Wellington, this is where you'll benefit, because you'll be able to use it and know if it's better or not. This is for the most recent version, so I've included the Metlink closure. I've also included that it's closed. I've made it clear that it's closed. I've put the 236, and then I've specified here that it runs peak hours only. Same here with the peak only extensions to the 280 and 290. Oh, and the 154. So the Hutt Valley is a headache. I don't like the Hutt Valley because the bus routes go every which way, and like you can just see there's this web of, there's like a whole circle here. This is where like trying to condense all the bus lines down into one really got me. And so I would say it's a little more confusing to try and follow the bus lines. And so the 154, the peak only extension is just drawn in here as a full extension, which I understand is not ideal, and I'm admitting that that's a setback on my end. I've also differentiated between, I've just made like the train line double stroke rather than the weird track graphic that is on the actual map. I experimented a lot with ferries. It's kind of hard. I had one where like I did a full sweeping curve, but that looked a bit weird, so I just went with the simple angles and then 45 degrees. This was a limitation of the software that I was using. This is my solution to their problem, because that map, it's a write-off. Wait, I'm basically talking directly to Metlink now. Even if you don't do it this way, it needs to be redone completely from the ground up, because trying to fix that, there's too many issues with it. It's not going to work. Like something similar to this, where it's going to be readable. I think that's all I had covered. I'm going to attach some things down below. This was a bit of a weird, strange video. It's different to what I normally do, but I just kind of had to like vent my frustrations about this map, because it really annoys me. I like transport maps, so yeah, here we are. If you stuck around to the end, hi, thank you. That's it from me. I'm gonna go now. Goodbye.